In the heart of Africa's oldest desert, a revolutionary transformation is quietly taking shape that could change how the world powers itself forever. While most nations debate their energy futures in boardrooms and parliaments, one small African country is boldly positioning itself to become the planet's first true hydrogen economy. We're talking about Namibia, a sparsely populated nation that's leveraging its extraordinary natural resources to potentially supply clean fuel to the entire globe. What's happening here isn't just ambitious, it's unprecedented in scale and vision. Today, we're diving into how this desert nation plans to turn sunlight and wind into liquid gold, why global superpowers are investing billions here, and why the whole world is watching this audacious experiment unfold. Before we explore Namibia's game plan, let's understand what green hydrogen actually is and why it's creating such global excitement among governments and corporations alike. Unlike traditional hydrogen production that relies on fossil fuels and pumps out massive amounts of carbon dioxide, green hydrogen is created by splitting water using renewable energy, releasing only pure oxygen as a byproduct. This process, called electrolysis, essentially captures renewable energy in a transportable, storable form that can power everything from steel mills to cargo ships. The global green hydrogen market is exploding, projected to grow from $12.31 billion in 2025 to nearly $200 billion by 2034. This isn't just about cleaner energy, it's about revolutionizing entire industries like steel production, shipping, and heavy transport that have struggled desperately to decarbonize. The race is on globally, and Namibia believes it has discovered the winning formula. What makes Namibia so special in this global energy race? The answer lies in nature's perfect storm of advantages that energy experts describe as almost too good to be true, like winning the geographic lottery. This southern African nation enjoys some of the world's most exceptional renewable energy resources, creating conditions that seem almost engineered for hydrogen production. We're talking about locations that experience just 30 hours of overcast skies per entire year. That's virtually constant sunshine for solar power generation, far exceeding even the sunniest parts of California or Australia. But here's where it gets really interesting. Namibia doesn't just have incredible solar potential, it also has powerful coastal winds that peak precisely when solar output drops, creating an almost perfect complementary energy system that minimizes power fluctuations and maximizes efficiency. The country's wind and solar combination offers capacity factors up to 69% for wind power and 25% for solar power, making it one of the most efficient renewable energy locations on Earth, rivaling only a handful of sites globally. Add to this vast stretches of uninhabited desert land, perfect for massive solar installations without displacing communities or competing with agriculture, and you have a recipe for unprecedented scale. Unlike densely populated countries that struggle with land availability and public opposition, Namibia has space to think bigger than anyone else. Namibia's government isn't thinking small. They're planning what could be the most ambitious energy transformation in modern African history, with implications that extend far beyond their borders and could reshape global energy markets. The country's green hydrogen strategy envisions creating 3 massive hydrogen valleys along the southern, central, and northern coasts, targeting production of 10 to 12 million metric tons annually by 2050. To put that in perspective, that's equivalent to more than 10% of all hydrogen produced globally today, coming from a country with just 2.5 million people. Imagine the economic impact per capita. The economic projections are staggering and represent a complete transformation of Namibia's economy from resource extraction to clean energy manufacturing. Government forecasts suggest the industry could create 80,000 jobs and boost GDP by 30% through tax revenue, royalties, and investment multiplier effects. But this isn't just about hydrogen gas. Namibia's strategy is much more sophisticated than simple extraction. They plan to create high-value products like green ammonia for fertilizers and shipping fuel, plus green iron for steel production, essentially moving up the value chain. The strategy recognizes that shipping pure hydrogen isn't economically viable from such distances due to storage and transport costs, so they're focusing on hydrogen derivatives that are dense enough for profitable ocean transport. Already, Over $2.08 billion has been committed to transformative projects across pilot initiatives and commercial developments. While many countries are still drafting hydrogen strategies and conducting feasibility studies, Namibia already has concrete projects producing real results and attracting serious international attention from major corporations. The star of the show is HiiRon's revolutionary facility, which became Africa's first zero-emissions iron production plant when it was inaugurated in 2024. This isn't theoretical or experimental. They're actually producing commercial quantities of green iron using hydrogen instead of coal, completely eliminating massive carbon emissions from steel production processes that have remained unchanged for centuries. At full scale, HiiRon will produce 1 million tons of green iron annually, cutting 1.8 million tons of CO2 emissions while creating over 6,000 construction jobs and 900 permanent roles. German steel manufacturers have already signed binding purchase agreements, proving there's real demand for these products in global markets. But that's just the beginning of an increasingly impressive project portfolio that spans multiple industries. The massive Hyphen project represents a $10 billion investment that aims to produce 350,000 tons of green hydrogen annually when fully developed, potentially replacing 5 to 6 million tons of CO2 emissions per year. Multiple other ventures are advancing simultaneously. Cleanergy Solutions is developing green ammonia production facilities for both fertilizer and shipping markets, while the Darest Green Hydrogen Village project aims to produce 180,000 tons of green hydrogen and 1 million tons of green ammonia annually. These aren't distant dreams or paper projects designed to attract headlines. Many have secured international financing from development banks, signed binding offtake agreements with European and Asian buyers, and begun actual construction phases with equipment arriving on-site. However, this hydrogen boom isn't without significant concerns that could potentially derail its success and have sparked heated national debates about priorities and development models. The most contentious issue surrounds environmental protection versus economic development priorities, creating divisions even among supporters of renewable energy. The flagship Hyphen project will be built within Sao Cabe National Park, encompassing 18% of this protected area that's home to unique desert ecosystems and endangered species. Environmental groups argue this represents an unacceptable trade-off between renewable energy development and irreplaceable biodiversity conservation, especially when alternative locations exist outside protected areas. Water scarcity presents another fundamental challenge that threatens long-term project viability and raises questions about resource allocation. Producing hydrogen requires substantial water supplies through energy-intensive desalination processes, but Namibia is experiencing its worst drought in a century. The country is seeking $20 billion in hydrogen investments, more than its entire GDP, while nearly half the population recently needed drought aid, and many rural communities still lack basic electricity access or clean water supplies. There are also unresolved historical sensitivities that complicate development plans. Some development sites are located near areas significant to the 1904-1908 genocide of Nama and Herero peoples, raising serious concerns about cultural heritage desecration and the symbolism of German companies leading major projects. Additionally, global hydrogen markets remain highly uncertain despite optimistic projections. Despite enthusiastic forecasts, clean hydrogen still accounts for less than 1% of global demand, and cost competitiveness with conventional fuels remains questionable without substantial government subsidies, raising questions about market timing. The global hydrogen sector requires an 8-fold increase in investments by 2030 to meet international decarbonization targets, and Namibia is positioning itself as a critical supplier in this massive transformation of global energy systems. If successful, this could establish a revolutionary new model for developing nations to leapfrog into clean energy leadership while generating substantial export revenue that transforms their economies. Global hydrogen volumes could reach 500 to 800 million tons by mid-century, and Namibia's early mover advantage could secure a significant share of this enormous market. The implications extend far beyond energy. This represents a potential fundamental shift in global economic power toward renewable resource-rich nations, potentially rewriting the geopolitics of energy that have dominated international relations for over a century. So what do you think? Can Namibia successfully balance environmental protection with economic transformation to become the world's hydrogen powerhouse? Is betting an entire economy on emerging hydrogen markets too risky, or exactly the kind of bold thinking needed for the energy transition? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear whether you see this as inspiration or caution for other developing nations. If you enjoyed diving deep into this fascinating energy transformation, hit subscribe